When it was known in Hored that god, Sethantes, was about to return, vice god Hadja prepared for God's reception. And there volunteered 10,000 musicians, 5,000 bearers of banners, 1,000 marshals and officers of the throne, and 100,000 receivers, to go part way and meet God, Sethantes, and his companions. And, vice god Hadja granted these volunteers their prayers, and they started at once, without delay, being the most majestic host that had as yet gone forth in the lower heaven. And when they, the volunteers, were a little way off, behold, God, Sethantes, and his ship of fire approached in heavenly splendor. And the marshals met him and laid hold of the ship's hanov, or front end, at which all the hosts did the same, except the musicians, who sang and played. When they, the entire angelic host, drew near and entered Hored, vice god Hadja broke down from his high estate, and left the throne, running to meet God, Sethantes, as a child would run to its father. And when the multitude saw this, they also broke loose from decorous behavior, and gave full vent to their outbursting love for God and his hosts. And all the people became as a tumult, a jumble of commotion, in rivalry of rejoicing. In a little while God, Sethantes, and, vice god Hadja turned and walked to the throne and ascended it. Hadja took his place, and God sat to his right, and order reigned. Vice god Hadja said, "In your name, O Jehovah, I welcome back your first son of earth, to the kingdom you have bestowed upon him, and your sons and daughters. Because he has glorified you, by his labor, wisdom and love, we honor him in your name, and for your glory." God, Sethantes, said, "In your name, O Jehovah, I return to these, my loves. That I am returned I glorify you, O my Father. That you have made them rejoice, is the glory of my life." And now a great light gathered up around the throne, so bright that many could not look upon it, and presently the power of Jehovah came upon, vice god Hadja, and the voice of Jehovah spoke through him, saying to God, Sethantes, "This is again your throne, O my son. You shall finish that which I have put upon you. Your people shall learn the manner of my kingdoms, and know that even as I make all, so do I rule over all. Hang up your traveling garb, my son. Dismiss your traveling hosts and resume your seat on the throne, for I gave it to you." The voice departed. Vice god Hadja rose up and stood aside, and the light fell upon God, Sethantes, and he resumed the throne, and was hailed by the multitude in Jehovah's name. God, Sethantes, said to vice god Hadja, "Because you have prospered my kingdom during 1 whole year, you shall be my companion and assistant, with power and wisdom, to superintend all matters not directly under my lords. Behold, I, Sethantes, have set this day apart as a new day in heaven and earth. Because on this day the sun takes its course from the north line, and from this time forward it shall be called the New Year's Day. So shall it be, from this time forward, the day of the relief watch in Hored. Hear my voice, O, vice god Hadja, and members of the council of the throne of heaven. That which I commanded, you shall proclaim throughout heaven and earth to all who serve me. Because of the increase of the kingdom of Hored, I, Sethantes, will have the place enlarged, and the council shall no longer be called a council, but Moab, for it shall be an assembly over all councils below it. And Moab shall no longer deal with the affairs of individuals, even if they are lords, but it shall have dominion with the cities and kingdoms of heaven, and with judgments and decrees. But in all matters of less degree, this, my son, vice god Hadja, shall have dominion. And you, O Hadja, shall build a house in Hored, near this throne, and it shall be your residence, and the place of your business.